rate is that American health is getting destroyed. It's being destroyed because of chronic illness. And if the current trends continue, if the graphs continue in the way that they're going, at best, we're going to face profound societal instability and decreased American competitiveness. And at worst, we're going to be looking at a genocidal level health collapse in our country and the world. Over the last 50 years in the United States, we have seen rapidly rising rates of chronic illnesses throughout the entire body, the body and the brain: infertility, obesity, type 2 diabetes and prediabetes, Alzheimer's, dementia, cancer, heart disease, stroke, autoimmune disease, migraines, mental illness, chronic pain, fatigue, congenital abnormalities, chronic liver disease, autism, and infant and maternal mortality, all going up. Americans live 8 fewer years compared to people in Japan or Switzerland, and life expectancy is going down. I took an oath to do no harm, but listen to these stats. We're not only doing harm, we're flagrantly allowing harm. While it sounds grim, there is very good news. We know why all of these diseases are going up, and we know how to fix it. Every disease I mentioned is caused by or worsened by metabolic dysfunction, a word that it is thrilling to hear being used around this table. Metabolic dysfunction is a fundamental distortion of our cellular biology. It stops our cells from making energy appropriately. According to the American College of Cardiology, metabolic dysfunction now affects 93.2% of American adults. This is quite literally the cellular draining of our life force. This process is the result of 3 processes happening inside our cells: mitochondrial dysfunction, a process called oxidative stress, which is like a wildfire inside our cells, and chronic inflammation throughout the body and the gut, as we've heard about. Metabolic dysfunction is largely not a genetic issue. It's caused by toxic American ultra-processed industrial food, toxic American chemicals, toxic American medications, and our toxic sedentary indoor lifestyles. You would think that the American healthcare system and our government agencies would be clamoring to fix metabolic health and reduce American suffering and costs, but they're not. They are deafeningly silent.
Things that make you go, why are they not clamoring, like she said, to try to fix the problem? I mean, it's not like it's some unfixable problem. The solution is there, right? All they got to do is, put the energy and effort needed to fix this problem. But, well, it is very, 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 very easy to decode this one, because the problem is exactly what they want. There's a reason why they gave you the standard American diet, SAD, which spells out sad, right? So the standard American diet is nothing but death. That's exactly what it is. And they've standardized it. Can you imagine that? They made it a standard. Your everyday diet is nothing but death. And what do you think will become of that, of the people that consume this on a daily basis? Well, everything she was going into. The ladies, you can tell she's blown away. And these are experts, real experts in their field. They're very concerned. Why are the government, especially the medical front, allowing this madness to continue? Well, this is what they want. They need you sickly, always coming to them for all things, and their medications are not there to help you in any way, shape, or form. If anything, it gets you hooked. So not only are your health in shambles, now they've turned you into a junkie. You see what is going on here? Not only your health is in shambles, you are now also a junkie, a fiend for the pills. Take 2 of these and, chill the F out. They can't wait to prescribe something to you. You see? So it's all done by design. It's not like there's a problem that is unfixable, is very fixable, like the lady is going into. All they have to do is get to the root of the problem and try to, remedy the whole thing. But what happens is they are the ones causing these problems. They are the ones that bring all these processed foods, the chemicals and everything in the air, the water's effing polluted. Your food, don't even get me started on that, right? All these things, even the so-called farmer that's supposed to kind of like help you out, but they're not doing that. All they do is try to put a Band-Aid in a gaping hole. You see? That's what they do. And in that process, they make a killing over that. In other words, they make a huge sum of money over your misery. We'll come back to the clip, but real quick, this is Job, the 13th chapter, and Job, the 13th chapter and the 4th verse, it says,
about metabolic dysfunction and its known causes.
Sorry about that. All right. This is Job, the 13th chapter and the 4th verse. It says, but ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. And in the NLT, it says, as for you, you smear me with lies. As physicians, you are worthless quacks. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ruchaha Kodash. Double honors to apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth and continue to teach us this truth. Peace, salutation, shalom, shalom, shalom to all your brothers and sisters out there that are of the household of faith, beginning with the 144,000 mighty men of the house of Israel, down to the men, women, and children that are allotted to be delivered in these latter days, who are of the elect, and to the brothers that are pushing this gospel in all sincerity and in all honesty. To you all, I say shalom. Right, I was just watching that clip. We'll get back to it, but the lady was just pretty much breaking it all down, right? Going into the whole madness behind this whole, what did she call it? The genocidal health. There's a term she used for that, but that's very crazy. That's exactly what is happening, and it's all done by design. You have to understand, they need less people on the planet, which goes into the whole, population reduction. And they are going through every aspect to achieve that. If you ever saw the TED Talk with Bill Gates, he broke that down. That they have to do their due diligence with the medical front and every other front he mentioned, to do whatever they can to reduce the population. You even had Kamala Harris and one of her thing going into the exact same notion about this population reduction, right? So this is exactly what they're doing, going back to the whole Georgia Guidestone thing, right? They demolished that because there's no need for that anymore. They're already, hashing out all the agendas written down in the Georgia Guidestones. It's already in practice, so there's no need to have that up there. And it was drawing too much attention, right? So there you have it. There you have it. And now a lot of people are very sick. A lot of people have been dying at an alarming rate. The death rate is through the roof. All of these things are done by design. All of these things are done by design. See, if you're still out there trusting in Big Brother, if you're still out there trusting in your so-called government to help you out and this and that, and, you think there will be the solution to all your problems, well, think again. This is exactly what we have here. This is why I had to pull the scripture out in Job, the 13th chapter. And the 4th verse, it says, but ye are forgers of lies. That's what they do. All they got to do is lie to you time and time again. Your standard American diet is nothing but death. But they glamorize it, right? They make it look good to you, make it look appealing to you. There's a whole lot of people are just addicted to that death. There's a reason why it's called FDA, Food and Drug Administration, because your food has become drugs also. You get hooked on food. Like you get hooked on phonics, right? You get hooked on food, man. They showed you that in the movie, they cloned Tyrone, right? Put all kinds of chemicals, excuse me, they put all kinds of chemicals in your food that gets you addicted to it and gets you acting all crazy. You know, all your fast food joints, they have nothing but the ingredients. They have over 50 ingredients just to make a fried chicken sandwich. Like, what the F is in these things, man? 50 ingredients just to make it damn, fried chicken sandwich or beef burger patties, whatever the hell it is, right? There's no reason you should have that much ingredients, man. What it is, what are you feeding us? Right? So this is what is going into here. So, but ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. So physician, there's a reason they don't call themselves physicians no more. Now they're labeled as doctors. And the term doctor is to falsify something. You know, when a document is falsified, they say you've doctored the document. In other words, you've tweaked it, you've done something to it. It's no longer the original form of the document. You've done, you falsified it. That is the doctrine of the document. So now, how appropriate that they name themselves doctors, because a physician is supposed to heal you. That's why they're called physicians. They know everything about your physical therapy, how to bring remedy to whatever it is, ailment that you're suffering, but they don't do that. So when a physician cannot bring you solutions to your problem, then he's a physician of no value. And if you read that in the NLT, it's even more explicit. It says, as for you, you smear me with lies. As physicians, you are worthless quacks. That's exactly what they are. This is what the lady is going into, the breakdown of the whole medical facet of the society, how it's been totally polluted and totally corrupt, right? They don't bring you any real remedy. As a matter of fact, let's go back to the clip real quick.
It's not an overstatement to say fix metabolic health and reduce American suffering and costs, but they're not. They are deafeningly silent about metabolic dysfunction and its known causes. It's not an overstatement to say that I learned virtually nothing at Stanford Medical School about the tens of thousands of scientific papers that elucidate these root causes of why American health is plummeting and how environmental factors are causing it. For instance, in medical school, I did not learn that for each additional serving of ultra-processed food we eat, early mortality increases by 18%. This now makes up 67% of the foods our kids are eating. I took 0 nutrition courses in medical school. I didn't learn that 82% of independently funded studies show harm from processed food, while 93% of industry-sponsored studies reflect no harm. In medical school, I didn't learn that 95% of the people who created the recent USDA food guidelines for America had significant conflicts of interest with the food industry. I did not learn that 1 billion pounds of synthetic pesticides are being sprayed on our food every single year. 99% of the farmland in the United States is sprayed with synthetic pesticides, many from China and Germany. And these invisible, tasteless chemicals are strongly linked to autism, ADHD, sex hormone disruption, thyroid disease, sperm dysfunction, Alzheimer's, dementia, birth defects, cancer, obesity, liver dysfunction, female infertility, and more, all by hurting our metabolic health. I did not learn that the 8 billion tons of plastic that have been produced just in the last 100 years, plastic was only invented about 100 years ago, are being broken down into microplastics that are now filling our food, our water, and we are now even inhaling them in our air. And that very recent research from just the past couple of months tells us that now about 0.5% of our brains by weight are now plastic. I didn't learn that there are more than 80,000 toxins that have entered our food, water, air, and homes by industry, many of which are banned in Europe. And they are known to alter our gene expression, alter our microbiome composition and the lining of our gut, and disrupt our hormones. I didn't learn that heavy metals like aluminum and lead are present in our food, our baby formula, personal care products, our soil, and many of the mandated medications like vaccines, and that these metals are neurotoxic and inflammatory. I didn't learn that the average American walks a paltry 3,500 steps per day, even though we know, based on science and top journals, that simply walking 7,000 steps a day slashes by 40 to 60% our risk of Alzheimer's, dementia, type 2 diabetes, cancer, and obesity. I certainly did not learn that medical error and medications are the third leading cause of death in the United States. I didn't learn that just 5 nights of sleep deprivation can induce full-blown prediabetes. I learned nothing about sleep, and we're getting about 20% less sleep on average than we were 100 years ago. I didn't learn that American children are getting less time outdoors now than a maximum security prisoner. And on average, adults spend 93% of their time indoors, even though we know from the science that separation from sunlight destroys our circadian biology, and circadian biology dictates our cellular biology. I didn't learn that professional organizations that we get our practice guideline from, like the American Diabetes Association and American Academy of Pediatrics, have taken tens of millions of dollars from Coke, Cadbury, processed food companies, and vaccine manufacturers like Moderna. I didn't learn that if we address these root causes that all lead to metabolic dysfunction and help patients change their food and lifestyle patterns with united, strong voice, we could reverse the chronic disease crisis in America.
I mean, with all she's going, with all the information she's just spilling out, if by now you're not shaking to your core, I don't know what would do it for you, man. I mean, these are doctors, so-called doctors, that's supposed to help you, in whatever it is that you're going through, right? You trust them. You have your family doctors, all this. They didn't learn anything about how to help you. Can you really wrap your mind around that? They went to all these schools and, studied all this, however long years that they spent in these colleges. They never learned anything useful to help you in your conditions, in the sicknesses, the diseases. They didn't learn nothing about that. Not a single thing. The ladies going to all the doctors, every doctor you go to, every doctor, all the hospitals, they never learned how to properly treat you, how to properly cure you, rather. They didn't learn it. They don't even know it. All they know is how to chop you up and feed you with pills. That's all there is. Cut you open and feed you with pills. I mean, come on, man. This is terrifying. This is very terrifying. Like, what kind of world are we living in, man? You can see the concern in this lady's face. She is absolutely blown away by the whole medical system. And so should you. Because your life hangs around these people. You base your life on every advice your so-called doctor tell you. Right? But now you're finding out that your doctor has no clue of what he's doing to help you. He has no clue. No clue. He don't know anything about it. No nutrition knowledge. Right? None of that. He has no clue how to help you. He don't know.
Save millions of lives and trillions of dollars in healthcare costs per year. Instead, doctors are learning that the body is 100 separate parts, and we learn how to drug, we learn how to cut, and we learn how to bill. I'll close by saying that what we are dealing with here is so much more than a physical health crisis. This is a spiritual crisis.
I effing applaud her also, because that is a profound statement. It's not just a health crisis, it's a physical crisis or people are facing. You know, it is insane, absolutely insane.
We are choosing death over light. We are choosing death over life. We are choosing darkness over light for people and the planet, which are inextricably linked. We are choosing to erroneously believe that we are separate from nature and that we can continue to poison nature and then outsmart it. Our path out will be a renewed respect for the miracle of life and a renewed respect for nature. We can restore health to Americans rapidly with smart policy and courageous leadership. We need a return to courage. We need a return to common sense and intuition. We need a return to awe for the sheer miraculousness of our lives. We need all hands on deck. Thank you.
I mean, come on, man. See, this is why there's going to be an uproar when a lot of people come to terms with how the government is running the whole show. I mean, it's going to be all hell breaking loose, because once you understand that the people that are in charge they don't have your best interest at heart. They don't, man. I mean, she's making good points. She's telling everybody to, get back. Well, the thing is, the people in charge, this is how they want you. They want you sick. They want you dumb. They want you totally incapable of making any critical decision, any really useful decision. They want you to come to them for everything. This is how they want you. How can you fight back the power, so to speak, if you're sick? How can you even know that you have a power to fight back if you've been dumbed down? You see, this is exactly what they want. And they get you right where they want you. You see? That is the problem we have, man. It is not like that it's just greed. It's not just greed. It is part of an agenda to get you to this point where you are totally useless. Here they are, they're trying to give your job over to robots and AI and things, right? Because they've gotten you to a point where you're damn near useless to the world we live in. Now, the brightest idea is to get robots to take over your jobs and just have you stay at home and pay universal basic income. I mean, this is the world they're planning for you. It's not a conspiracy theory. They've come out and said it. This is what they have in mind for you. You see? So the lady, she's making good points and all of that. But the powers that be, this is exactly what they want. So, like she's saying, talking about courage, right? You gotta have courage to say to hell with the system. So it doesn't matter who you're voting for, Trump, Kamala, whoever, the agenda continues, man. You'll be sadly mistaken if you're thinking, these guys, will be there to help you out in whatever it is you're going through. Because that's not the case. This is Ecclesiasticus, also known as the Book of Sirach, and the Apocrypha, the 38th chapter and the first verse. It says, honor a physician with the honor due unto him for the uses which ye may have of him. For the Lord had created him. So that is remember the difference between a doctor and a physician, because physician is the real deal. A doctor is a fake, a quack, like the scripture we read earlier. Quacks, worthless quacks. You see? So it says, honor a physician with the honor due unto him for the uses which you have of him. So remember the scripture we read earlier, they are physicians of no value. Why? Because they're not able to cure you of anything. They don't even know how to cure you of this. They didn't learn how to do it. So they can't even do it. They can't even perform the task which is required of them because they have no effing clue. You see? So that's what it is. So you don't even have any use for your so-called doctors. They're useless, worthless. You see? The second verse is, for the Most High cometh, for of the Most High cometh healing, and he shall receive honor of the king. It says, the skill of the physician shall lift up his head, and in the sight of great men he shall be in admiration. Admiration. This is why a lot of the holistic doctors, people admire them, because they actually give you cure, because they use natural remedies, not just chemicals, man, and petroleum and all of that. They use natural remedies to bring you relief, to bring you healing. You see, and they admired for that. Dr. Sebi, before they killed him off, that was what he was doing, and he was greatly admired by a lot of people. You see, and a couple of other doctors out there that are of that ilk. It says the fourth verse. The fourth verse said, the Lord had created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. What is that? That is your herbs, your natural healing medicines and properties that are found in the earth. You see, the Most High made these things to help you out. Well, your doctors don't even know anything about herbs and natural remedies, right? They're quick to prescribe some bullshit to you. Excuse my French. You see? So that's why the scripture is telling you here not to, it said the Lord had created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. See, if you're wise, you wouldn't just be solely dependent on this, take two of these, swallow two of these all the time. You will get into the natural remedies, natural healing properties that are in the earth that has been created already. All you got to do is, educate yourself on them. They're natural, holistic doctors out there, that you can, all you got to do is look them up. They try to demonize them. They try to make them look like crazy. Even you yourself on your own got to look into all of this. Your cayenne peppers, the natural remedy, olive oils, right? Things like that. Modak roots. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. I have a list of my own, right? You got to know these things, man, to help you out when you need them. You see? It says, written on, it says, the fifth verse, was not the water made sweet with wood, that the virtue thereof might be known, right? It says, and he had given men skill that he might be honored in his marvelous works. So what are the skill they gave men? Well, the skill of healing people. That's the Most High gave men that skill. He didn't give it to no doctors, not your everyday doctor out there, your quacks, so to speak. He gave it to a true physician, So to heal somebody is a skill that is given from on high. That's why the lady mentioned about this is not just a physical thing, it is a spiritual thing. It is very, very much spiritual as it is, physical health and all of that, right? Because for a doctor or a physician to have the skill to heal you, he has to be given that skill from the spirit, through the spirit, to understand these things, right? It says, and he had given men skill that he might be honored in his marvelous works. So with such that he heal men and taketh away their pains. Of such that the apothecary make a confection, and of his works there is no end. And from him is peace over all the earth. So all your holistic doctors, all your homeopathy doctors, you see, this is where it's at. They give you ease. They bring you peace from whatever it is you're going through. Why? It goes on. It says, my son, in thy sickness be not negligent, but pray unto the Lord, and he will make thee whole. See, like the statement the lady made, is not just a physical thing, it is a spiritual, because a lot of people don't even believe in God. They don't even believe in the king of the universe. That's why you're sick. See? It says, leave off from your sin and order thine hands aright and cleanse thy heart from all wickedness. You see that? From all, because all of these things brings you this ease. Your body is not at ease. Your spirit is not at ease because all the wickedness you do, right? It makes you filthy. It says, give a sweet savor and the memorial of fine flour, and make a fat offering as not being. It says, then give place to the physician, for the Lord hath created him. Let him not go from thee, for thou hast need of him. Right? Not the worthless quacks, a true physician. Keep a true physician on deck. And there are brothers that are very good with this, man. You know, I get into all of the videos. I have a long list. Like right now, my mind is blank. I can't remember all the herbs. But I have a list of my own of, herbs to go into. You need magnesium, right? You got to go into that. You need glycinate magnesium because we lack nutrients in our foods, in our water. We don't have that. So these are the things you need for your health. So you have to get hip to all of these things, man. Because you can't trust no doctors. They're not there. Like you heard the lady say, they don't know how to help you. Even if they wanted to, they can't do that. They didn't learn of it. You see? It says, there is a time when in their hands there is a good success, for they shall also pray unto the Lord, that he would prosper that which they give for ease and remedy to prolong life. You see that even your doctor has a spiritual connection to the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. He's not just out there just prescribing stuff. He prays to the Lord that what he gives you, the natural remedies that he gives you, will really, really do their job. See, going back to the statement the lady made, it's not just a physical health thing, it's also a spiritual thing that is happening here. You see, that's what it is. You see, that's what it is. So the scripture says, telling you, for they also pray, for who is the they? The physicians. They also pray unto the Lord that he will prosper that which they give for ease and remedy to prolong life. So there's a disconnect between the physical and the spiritual, and everything is suffering because of that. The earth itself is suffering, like the lady said, thinking that we are separate from nature. It's all the same thing. We live off each other. That everything has been destroyed under the inhabitants thereof, under the wicked elites that run the whole show. So these are things you have to be very aware of, and know these things, so you know how to move in this life we're living in. Because any little thing can be the end of you, especially when it comes to health. When it comes to health, you got to take that seriously, man. You got to take it seriously for you and your family. And with that, all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodash, double honors to apostles and elders of Great Millstone. See you next time, Lord willing. Shalom. Shalom.